This is a Level 3 containment bulletin issued by the Midwestern Broadcast Safety Network. Do not adjust your screen. Do not mute this transmission. This message is for you. Reports are growing from eastern Indiana to southern Illinois. Small towns, rural roads, isolated homes. The pattern is undeniable. Dogs across the region have begun howling between 12:39 and 3:37 a.m. every night without fail. Authorities have blamed coyotes, fireworks, faulty wiring. They are wrong. If your dog howls after midnight, it is not random. It is not behavioral. It is a warning. A soundless siege begins while you sleep. And your dog is the only thing standing between you and them. What are they? There is no word in English that describes them fully. They are not ghosts, not demons, not aliens. They are a category of their own. Them is what the older reports called them. Decay walkers, some whisper. Shadow hands. Others prefer no name at all, fearing that naming invites attention. They are not alive. They are not dead. They are somewhere in between, bloated forms as if waterlogged, twitching with unnatural motion, slipping between shadows where light should exist. Invisible to you. But dogs can see them. Dogs can hear what they are not supposed to. That is why the howling begins. The pattern is always the same. 3 howls. Never 1, never 2. Always 3. The first howl, a signal. The second, a plea. The third, a mark. By the third howl, they have chosen someone. Not by address, not by chance, by soul. They do not come for the innocent. They come for the cracked, the hollow, the ones wearing clean clothes but hiding decay within. Case report 001, the basement room, Knox County, Indiana. The first verified incident occurred just outside Bicknell, a near-forgotten town surrounded by empty cornfields and cell phone dead zones. Liam Ortega, age 23, local mechanic, kept to himself, always polite. He rented a cheap basement apartment in a farmhouse west of town. His only companion was a mutt named Grover, part hound, part shepherd, all loyalty. Liam had secrets. Nobody knew he drank alone every night. Nobody knew he had a long history of stealing prescription meds from the auto shop's break room. Nobody knew what happened to the missing girl who once rode in his car, except maybe Grover. But Grover never barked. Not until December 3rd. The dog began howling at 1:14 a.m. Liam, hungover and irritated, yelled. Grover didn't flinch. He just kept howling. 3 perfect, evenly spaced calls. Then silence. Grover stood facing the basement's utility closet, tail stiff, eyes wide. He growled, backed up, whimpered. Then the light in the hallway flickered. Then the doorknob turned, on its own. Liam laughed nervously. He opened the closet. The inside was empty. But the smell... He texted his boss at 1:19 a.m. Grover's losing it. Something dead in the walls? No one ever received another message from Liam Ortega. 2 days later, the landlady let herself in. She found Grover dead in the kitchen, curled by the fridge, spine twisted like a corkscrew. Liam's room was empty. The closet? Still open. On the inside wall was a black stain, palm-shaped, smeared in a spiral. Too large for a human, too high for a child. His phone was there, screen shattered. Final image on the camera roll, a pitch-black frame with the faint outline of a second face behind his own. Distorted, eyeless, mouth too wide. Liam was never found. Neighbors say their dogs still howl toward that basement even now, though the unit sits abandoned. Case report 002, the garage door, St. Clair County, Illinois. Eleanor Dempsey, 71, retired, lived alone after her husband's passing. Her companion was a border collie named Finch. Smart dog, obedient, quiet. She'd been a church secretary for 30 years, respected, warm. But her kindness was thin paint over old rust. She'd cut off her only son after he came out as gay. Never attended his wedding, never met her grandchildren. She kept her doors locked but left her heart sealed tighter. On January 11th at exactly 2:13 a.m., Finch began howling. Eleanor was startled awake. She called out. The dog didn't come. The howling continued. She found Finch facing the garage entry door, fur raised, trembling. She opened it slowly. The garage light flickered. Something shifted behind her car. Something tall. She blinked. Nothing there. The howling stopped. That morning, Eleanor's sister found her sitting in her recliner, dazed, repeating, "It saw me, but it didn't take me." but she wasn't spared. Over the next 3 nights, Finch refused to eat. He sat unmoving at the garage door, growling softly, tail down. Then came the night of silence. No barking, no movement. In the morning, Finch was gone. No trace. The door remained locked. Security cameras recorded nothing but static from 2:12 to 2:18 a.m. Eleanor doesn't speak to anyone anymore. The only sound from her home now comes at night, an old dog's howl, but Finch is no longer alive. Redacted segment. Authorized viewers. Only survivors have reported early symptoms prior to contact. Hallway lights flicker for no electrical reason. Furniture moves slightly when no one is in the room. Shadows stretch in the wrong direction. Dogs bark at blank walls. A sudden chill despite no change in weather. A feeling of being watched. Even in the shower, all of these signs precede the howling. All of them mean it is near. They do not break in. They test the perimeter first. They watch you from inside reflections. They do not need to be invited. They only need to be ignored. When your dog begins howling, not once, not twice, 3 times, that means it has chosen you. The house will feel wrong after that, slightly off, as if the walls are listening, as if the floorboards are breathing. By the time the howling stops, it is too late. This is a continuation of the Level 3 Containment Bulletin. If you have heard your dog howl in 3s, if you've ignored it, this message may be your last. Case Report 003. The Playground Swing, Morgan County, Indiana. Caleb Mendez, age 37, a single father. Worked nights as a radio tower technician outside of Martinsville. Lived in a rundown rental near the edge of a patchy forest with his daughter Ava, age 6, and their Belgian Malinois Juno. Caleb was trying to turn his life around. He had a past, multiple assault charges, substance abuse, a bar fight that ended in a man's collapsed lung. But now he was sober, employed, present, or so it seemed. On the night of February 17th, around 12:58 a.m., Juno began pacing and growling. By 1:06, the howling started. 3 howls, evenly spaced. Eva woke up screaming. When Caleb ran to her room, she was pointing toward the window that overlooked the backyard. Tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "He was on the swing, Daddy. The man with no skin." Caleb rushed outside. Juno was already there, snarling, body stiff, ears locked on the swing set. The swings were moving, no wind. Then Juno stopped barking. She howled, a long, tortured sound that echoed into the trees. Caleb reached the swing set. It was empty. But beneath the swings was something strange. 5 indentations in the frozen mud, shaped vaguely like limbs, too long, too thin, fingers like twigs. Suddenly, Juno leapt into the air as if pulled upward. For 3 seconds, her body hovered unnaturally, limp, suspended in space. Then she dropped. No blood, no scream, dead on impact, eyes wide open. That was 1 week ago. Since then, Caleb hasn't answered calls from work. Neighbors say his lights stay on all night, but the curtains are drawn. A postal worker reported hearing low sobbing, then laughter, coming from inside at 3:31 a.m. Animal Control arrived 2 nights ago to investigate reports of another dog howling in the yard. But Caleb didn't have a new dog. They searched the property. Juno's grave was dug up. Empty. The warning signs are consistent. If you hear a scratching in your walls between 1 and 3 a.m., it's not rodents. If your dog begins howling and you hear footsteps afterward, even though the house is locked, you are being tested. If your mirrors begin to smudge, fog, or reflect things not present in the room, do not look twice. Do not clean them. Just cover them. These are not hallucinations. These are pre-breach distortions, evidence of them scanning your home's defenses. They do not look for security systems. They search for spiritual vulnerabilities, the cracks in your psyche. They don't care about locks. They care about secrets. And they are always hungry. They feed on internal rot, not physical decay, but guilt, shame, cruelty left unresolved. They do not come for saints. They come for the ones who've smiled through betrayals, laughed during manipulation, lied without remorse. If you've hurt someone and never made it right, they smell that on you. If you've buried a part of your conscience just to sleep better, they hear it screaming beneath your skin. They are not mindless. They are precise. Survivor testimony redacted source verified audio. My dog Piper was a rescue. She used to whimper at shadows. I thought she was just nervous, But then, last March, she started howling at exactly 2:41 a.m. every night. The first few nights I yelled at her, then I locked her in the bathroom, then I put her outside. That night she didn't howl, but I woke up to scratching at my bedroom window. I live on the 3rd floor. When I opened the blinds, there was nothing there, but my reflection didn't move. It just stared at me, and then it smiled. Piper stopped eating after that. She stared into corners. She wouldn't let me near the hallway mirror. A week later, she was gone. I didn't find her body. But the floor where her bed used to be was soaked. Not blood, not water. Something thick, black, like ink. Now it's my turn. Every night I hear breathing. In the vents, in the drains. They haven't taken me yet, but I think it's because I'm finally starting to feel sorry. The only defense is transformation. They cannot be reasoned with. They do not respond to weapons. They are not afraid of fire, bullets, or cameras, but they fear one thing: genuine change. People who survive encounters often report similar events. They confessed secrets they had buried for decades. They sought forgiveness from those they wronged. They made amends. They opened themselves to pain and humility. And then, the howling stopped. The scratches faded. The shadows left. This is not about religion, not about purity. It is about confrontation with the worst version of yourself. They cannot feed on you if you are actively healing. But if you deny your darkness, if you laugh it off, excuse it, bury it deeper, they see you as ripe. They see you as next. Final broadcast advisory: if your dog howls at night, do not scold them. Do not ignore them. Lock all doors. Unplug all mirrors. Sit still. Listen. The moment the howling stops, they are inside. You must act before then, not with violence, with honesty. Whatever you've done, acknowledge it, even if only to yourself. Feel the weight. Let it crush the part of you they would cling to. Burn the rot from within, because once they enter, they do not leave. They do not forget. They do not forgive, but they do retreat. From those who are no longer broken, you still have time, but only until the next howl. This was your final warning. Transmission ends.